select star from sys.server underscore principals. What we discussed in last class till which we discussed till column level permissions, right? Change this down. If you want to enable it again, right click, properties, status, enable. Okay, how to provide the schema level, database level, table level, column level permissions. From here, we can only provide server level and DB level permissions. Properties, server level roles, database level roles. Okay, server level roles and database level roles. Okay, but if you want to provide schema level, table level, just first we have to map this ID to that particular database. So it is creating the user inside the database. Click OK. After that, go to that particular database. This is AdventureWorks DW 2014. Okay. Yes. Expand this database. Go to security. Go to users. Right click. Properties. Search all objects of the types. Okay, select this. Tuples, tables, schemas. Okay, I'm selecting table. Okay, so I want to provide the column level permissions. Okay, delete. Select insert permission. Select this. If it is insert, delete, update, whatever the permissions they require, you can provide. If it is a write permission, insert. If it is a delete permission, provide the delete. Okay. If it is update permission, provide the update. Generally, we only provide read only writes. Read only means select. Read means select. Write means insert and delete. Update means update permissions. Okay. Whenever you get request from the user, like I need access on the SQL database, they mention the database name, but we don't know the server name, right? You should ask the server name. You have to ask the server name. What is the SQL Server instance name? What is the database name? What is the user ID you required access? What type of permissions you required? Is it read-only permissions, write permission, delete permission, update permission? So once we get all the details, we can provide the access to that particular user. Here I am providing read-only access, that is select. In this, if you want to provide access on particular columns, select column permissions here. Okay, whatever the column they want to read, check that column only. Okay? So in that case, if they use select star from, star means reading all columns. They have to read particular columns only. They have to mention select column name, comma column name, like that. Okay? That we already discussed in last class, right? Okay. Click OK. Click OK. This is a table level. For schema level and store procedure also, we assign the permissions in the similar way from the database security. Where you can see the store procedures, if you expand the database, what we have in this database? Database diagrams, we do not use this. Okay, we do not use database diagrams concept. We use tables. Okay, we use tables. So generally we read the data from the tables. You can see tables, all the tables. Here you can see the different schema. Schema name dot table name. You can find the different schemas in the database. Most of the times we can see only default schema. It is a DB. Okay? But in some databases, you might find different schema names. Next one is views. I already explained the view, right? What is the view? If you are reading the data, some data from one table, some data from another table. If you are combining the multiple tables and you are reading the data, that we call it as view. Okay, so instead of writing every time that much big code, we create the view for the And every time we execute this, we select star from unit. Okay? Next one is external resources. We do not use this. Synonyms, this also we do not use. We use programmability. In that we have the stored procedures. Where you can find the stored procedures, expand the database, expand the stored procedures. In that you can see the stored procedures. Here we don't have any stored procedures. Okay, we don't have any stored procedures. These are system stored procedures. These are not required for us. Let me show you some stored procedures in different database. Adventure 2016. Programmability. Stored procedures. Hello. Yeah. In the stored procedures, see, you can see the stored procedure, right? Let's say I have a requirement. I want to migrate this stored procedure from this instance. What is this instance? Default instance. From this instance to different instance. Another instance, you can see DAR 20114. Okay. You got the requirement, right? I want to migrate the store procedure. I want to create similar store procedure in dev 20114 instance. Simple. How to do that? Right click, script store procedure as, create a new query editor window. Copy this code. Okay. Copy this code. Connect to the control C, right? Copy this code. Connect to the dev 2011 instance, paste the code. Wherever you want to create the store procedure, select the database, test database, right? Execute it. See, actually here we are creating a not AdventureWorks database, right? We are creating a test database. Okay, test. Execute it. Oh, see, some reference tables are not available here. That's the reason it's giving there. Okay, so you got the procedure, right? How to drop that, how to migrate the store procedure, or how to create the store procedure from, how to transfer the store procedure from one server to another server. Just right click on the store procedure, script as, create a new query editor window, copy this script and execute that script in the target server. Okay. So if anyone wants to see the store procedure, what type of permission they require? View definition. What type of permission that user required? View definition. If anyone wants to modify the store procedure, like modify, what type of permission they require? Alter procedure. If anyone wants to execute the store procedure, execute store procedure, what type of permissions they required? They required execute permissions. Okay, they required execute permissions. Okay, and if you see the store procedures, below the store procedures, what you have? Functions. So functions also we do not use. As a DBA, we do not create any store procedures, any functions. All these are used by the developer, but we provide the examples. The store procedures, if you minimize the store procedure, what you have? Functions, database triggers, we do not use this. Functions, database triggers, types, okay. Rules, we do not use all these things. Service brokers, we do not use. Storage, full text search, we do not use. This also we do not use. Security, we use this. Security, we use. You can see the users. What are the users available in the database? So we have the command to see the logins information it's available. So we have the similar command to see the database users information inside the database. Okay, Control V. Instead of server, you can type database. Okay, instead of server, you can type database. See, you can see all the users information here. All these are the system users, right? You can see dummy one, dummy, what type of user it is, SQL user or Windows user, SQL user, right? See, here you can see the rules as well. It is a database role, when it is created, when it is modified. You can see the SID for dummy one. For dummy one, what is the SID? This is right. Here also you can see the dummy one SID. Let me compare both, okay? This is from database. Now where is dummy one? Here also you have something, dummy one. This is desktop, where this is. This is also desktop instance. This is, no, it is DB owner one, right? This is the dummy one. This is the dummy one side, okay? Copy it. Just I'm comparing both, okay? But this is also dummy one. Both are same, right? So both are connected with same SID. That's the reason there is a connection between the login and user, right? Table level permissions we discussed. Column level we discussed contain database, okay? We'll discuss contain database after the orphan users. So, orphan users means users without having login, called as orphan users. Okay? So, let me show you one diagram. If you don't have the login, okay? Then all these users we call it as orphan users. All this user we call it as orphan users. Let me show you one thing. Let me delete this dummy one. Okay, if you delete the login, remember this, if you delete the login, it do not delete the respective users in the database. Okay. See that? Delete. Okay. Delete the server level server logins does not delete the database users associated with these logins. To complete the process, delete the users in each database. It may be necessary to first transfer the ownership of schemas to users. So what it is telling, what is the final summary? Drop login dummy one failed. Why? Could not drop login dummy one as the user is currently logged in. Okay. Where we logged by using this? Here we log in, right? Disconnect it. Okay, now try to delete it. Dummy one, right click, delete. Okay. Okay. Delete it, right? Now, if you delete the login, it do not delete the respective users in the database. You can verify that. You have dummy one user. So here inside the database, you have the user, but you don't have the login at instance level. Okay, but you don't have the login at instance level. So this we call it as orphan user. Okay. This is one type of orphan user. In another situation, we have the orphan user. Okay. What is that orphan user? You have the login and you have the user. Okay? You have the login and you have the user. Okay, so if you don't have connection between them, okay, if you don't have connection between them, for example, both are connected with SID, right? So if you don't have connection, then this type of user, we call it as orphan user. See, here you have the login. Here you have the user. But do you have connection between them? No. Then this also we call it as orphan user. How to define the orphan user? If we have the user inside the database, but the respective login is not available at instance level, then that particular user, we call it as orphan user. In another case, if we have the login at instance level and we have the user inside the database, but there is no connectivity between them, then this user also, we call it as orphan user. Two situations. How will get to know that which is the orphan user, which is not orphan user? Okay, so how to identify this orphan users? See here, how it is possible. Here you have the login. This login have the different SID. This user has a different SID. Then there is no connection. If this login and user have the same SID, then only there is a connectivity, right? So your login has a different SID, user has a different SID, so there is a no connectivity between the login and user. This user, we call it as orphan. And another one is, if you don't have the login, if you have the user here, that is also orphan user. How to identify the orphan users? Let me execute one query, that is sp underscore change underscore users underscore login underscore report. In which cases we find the orphan users? We'll see that, okay? See, if login deleted at server level, users are still exist at database level. In this case, we have the orphan users. A database is restored or attached to different instance. For example, if I take the backup of this database, AdventureWorks 2016. So when you take this backup, it backup everything, whatever you have inside the database, it catch up everything. Inside the database, you have the security. Inside the security, you have the users. You have the permissions. It backup that as well. You can take the backup and you can restore that in the different instance. Okay, you can restore that in the different instance. So the same data, whatever the data you have, you get the data here. Okay, in this databases. But here in the database, you have the users, but it is not mandatory to have the same logins at instance level, right? So in that case, you can find the orphan. Even though here, if you have the login, okay, if you migrate this database from here to this instance, but there is no connectivity between this user and the login at instance level, so then we call it as orphan. So when you migrate the database from one server to another server, you can find the orphan users. That is the one real-time scenario. Another one is when you delete the login, the respective users are not deleting at database level. In that case, you can find the orphan users. Another case is after migration, we can find many orphan users. Generally, we do the migration. Okay, we migrate the databases from one SQL version to another SQL version. At that time also, you can find the orphan. How to find the orphan users? Is there any way? Yes. We use the command to find the orphan users, sp underscore change underscore users underscore login report. So where you have to use this and the particular database. Execute against that particular list. Where am I executing? AdventureWorks 2016 on this default instance. A single quote, okay? Execute it. See, we have one orphan user. What is the user ID? SID of the, this is the SID. Okay? This is a SID. This login is not existed here. Okay? This login is not existed here. This is one orphan user. Okay, let me try to create one login, new login here. Okay. I'm creating the login dummy one. Does it fix the orphan user? We'll see that. Okay. If you try to map this adventure work 2016, what happens? You can't do it. Why? Because this dummy one login is already available here. If you try to map this also, you'll get there. I'll show you. I created the dummy one login. Okay. So here I have the dummy one login. Inside the database, I have the user. But still we can see the R1 user. Why? Because this user has a different SID, right? And this login has a different SID. You can see in this logins, dummy one. What is the SID of this? Just now I created this dummy one login, right? So if you have any confusion, if you're not understanding, let me know. Okay. Here, Control V. Yep. This is okay. Both have the same SID. Okay. Here I created the login. Sorry, let me execute this. Sorry, I'm not here. Here I'm verifying the username only, not database, not logging back. It is a user's information. Excuse me. We have to execute this query. That's from system underscore principles. Okay? Yeah, you can see the login. Dummy one. This is dummy one. Okay. See this? Both we have different, right? This SID is different, this is different. So there is no connectivity between the login and user. So this we call it as R1 user. Okay. So if you have the login and if you have the user, right? Now you have the login at instance level, user inside the database, but you don't have connectivity. You don't have connectivity between them. So how to fix this? How to fix this R1 user? There is a command you can use to fix the R1 user, update underscore one. What is the command? Update underscore one. See, this is the login SID, okay? It is login. This is SID for login, the previous SID for user. See, this is for user, right? This is for user. Okay. Then how to fix this? Update underscore one, comma, login name and username. What is my login name? Dummy one, comma, username. What is my username? Dummy one. Right in single quotes. Now when you execute this command, what happens? There is a comma is missing. Okay. When you execute this one, that means it is updating the SID between the login and user. Okay. So for previously user, this is the user SID, this is the login SID. We'll see now. Execute this. This is not same, right? This is a different. I will see 1 minute. Give me 2 minutes. Okay. Okay. See, before that, I want to show you something. I created the login here, right? Right click, properties. Do we have any connectivity for this database? No, right? We don't have any connectivity, right? Now, if I execute this, yes, command completed successfully. Now you can verify. Right click, properties, user mapping. See, it has established a connectivity, right? See, dummy one, established the connectivity. Now you can verify the SID of this particular user. You can verify from here, right? What is the SID user? Dummy one. This is the SID. It is updated same as the login name, same as the login SID, right? It is updated same as a login SID. This is a new SID, right? New SID. F8. The user SID is over the login SID overwritten the previous user SID. Right? Give me 1 minute. I'll be back. Yeah, I'm back. Here we fixed this, right? Update underscore by using update underscore one query. This is your login name and this is your username. So mostly in real time, we have the same login and same user. Okay, login name and username is same. But even though if you have the different login, see, when you map this to the different database, you might create the username with different name as well. See, here you can use the different name. Test 1, 2, 3. Okay. So here the login name is different, username is different. Login name is dummy3. Here username is test 1, 2, 3. Right. So we can also create the users with different name, but by default, when you map the logins to the database, it creates the username with the same as login name. Okay. So here one dummy one means one is a username, another one is a first one is a login name, another one is a user. Okay. So it does us in which case we use this. If you have the login at instance level and you have the user at database level, but there is no connectivity between the login and user at the time we use the update underscore. Okay. And another one is auto underscore fix. When we use the auto underscore fix, if I delete the dummy2 login here, delete it, delete. Okay. Dummy2 is login, right? Where from where we have login. Activity monitor, process, filter the login name here. Do we have dummy2 here? No, right? No dummy2. Then why it is showing? Right click, delete. Okay. Okay. Drop field for login dummy2 owns one or more databases. Change the owner of the database and drop it. Okay. It is saying that this dummy2 owns some databases, so you can't drop this login. How to verify the database owner? Which command we use? We use sp underscore help db. Sp underscore help db. In this, you can see the database owner as well. DB owner, right? For which owner we have the dummy2? AD SFG. AD SFG. Change that owner. Right click, properties. Change this owner to go to the options. Not here. Go to the file style. File style. Change the owner to SCA. Okay. Script. If you want to see the script, see the script. Okay, alter authorization on database name to SCA. What's the command we use to change the database owner? Alter authorization on database name to SCA. So yeah, I'm changing this. I changed the DB owner. Now this dummy2 is not owned by any database. Now you can delete it. Right click, delete. Okay. So deleting the several logins does not delete the database users associated with the logins. So if you delete the login, it do not delete the user inside the database. That it will say. Now identify the orphan users. In Adventure Work 2016 again. Here we don't have. Let me. This is mapped to which database? 2014. Did we map it to 2014? Yes. Oh, here we have the dummy one. Where we mapped this login dummy2? Did we map it to any database? We didn't map it this dummy2 anywhere. Okay, let me delete this dummy3. Let me delete dummy1 again. We mapped dummy1 everywhere, right? Delete. Okay. Okay. Now like this. This is Adventure Work 2016. Execute it. Yes, dummy. Okay. We don't have the dummy1 login. So now you can use another query to create the login same as the username. It is a SQL login. This is auto underscore fix, single quotes, right? Here, what is my username? My username is dummy1. Okay. Copy this. Here you can write the username. So null means you are creating the user login name with the same as a username and password. Password I am giving, the password is test123@123. Is capital. Okay. Now execute this. See what we have here, we don't have the login. Another scenario. We don't have the login at instance level, but we have the user inside the database. For that, we are fixing the orphan user. How to fix that? Use the auto underscore fix query. This is username, comma, null. Null means it creates the login with the same as the username with this password. Okay, execute it. Now execute it. Execute it. Okay, verified. Refresh. See, dummy one created, right? Right click, properties, verify the user mapping. User mapping adventure 2016 is mapped, right? So here we have the two scenarios. One is if you don't have the login, if you have the user inside the database, if you want to fix that, by creating the login, you can use this. Okay. Another case is you have the login at instance level, you don't have. You have the user at database level, but you don't have the connectivity between them. So in that case, you can use this, right? Okay. How to find the orphan users? Use this. See, this command is common. SQL underscore change underscore user underscore login. Only one word is changing. Report, update underscore one, auto underscore. These are changing. That's it. Anyone have any doubts? It is important interview question. What is orphan user? How to find the orphan users? What command we use? How to fix the orphan users? Anyone have any doubts on this? Okay. Next one is contain database. Okay. So when we connect it to the SQL server here, if you are providing the rights to the database or not, but you can see all the databases. What's the problem? Password is wrong. Yes, wrong password. That is correct. Okay. Yeah. See here, I can see all the databases. I'm able to access some databases. I'm not able to access some databases. Wherever I mapped this login, I was able to access the databases, right? So my requirement is I don't want to see all these databases names. I want to see only one particular database, only that particular database, okay? So we have one feature that we call it as contained database, which is introduced from SQL 2012 onwards. So for contained database, if you want to, if you enable the containment feature, okay, when you provide the access to that particular database, user can only see the database. User cannot see other databases. Okay. How to implement that? Contained database. SQL Server 2012 onwards, we have new solution termed as a contained database. Contained database is defined as a database which has the database user without logins. For this, you do not require any login. If you have the user, by using the database user, you can connect to the database. How to connect? We'll see that. How to enable this feature? Contained database feature is available at instance level and is not enabled by default. Okay, it is available at instance level. It is not enabled by default. So how to enable it? Let me go close all this. Right click on database, properties, go to advanced options. Here you have enable containment. It is a true, it is a false, right? You can make it as a true. Click OK. After this, you have to enable the containment feature on that particular database. Right click on this database, properties. Here files, not files, options. What is the containment type? It is none, right? Enable that partial. If you want to see the query for it, okay. See, this is a query. Alter database name, Adventure Work 2007, set containment is equal to partial with no underscore. Okay. This is a query. So what we did, we enabled the containment feature first at instance level, after that at database level. Okay. Now create the user inside the database. We do not require the login for this. This is a interesting case in this. We do not require the login. We only need the user. Security, users, right click on user, create new user, See, it is username is, my username is, I'm typing it is contained. You can give any name, okay, just to identify it is a contained user, I'm giving the contained. Mention the password. Whatever you want, you can give the password. Contained user, okay. Right, now connected. So here we created the user with password, right? Why? Because we enabled the contain feature. Let me try to create the user in another database. Here we can't create the user with password. Why? For this database, contained feature is not enabled. See, are you getting the option to provide the password? Username, just it is asking the login name, for which login you want to create the user. But for 2019, I enabled the containment feature. So that's the reason I'm able to create the user with password. See, you are getting the option. Username, password, confirm password. Okay. So let me use this. How to connect the containment databases? Database engine. This is SQL Server authentication. What is my username? Contained. Okay, options. Here, you can provide the database name. Okay, do not connect it. If you click connect it, you will get the error. Okay, how to, then what's option, how to connect it? Do not click on connect. Go to the options. Okay, go to the options. Go to the connection parameters, properties. Here type the database name. Type the database name. Do not browse. Adventure Works 2019. Okay. Now connect. See, now I'm able to see only that particular database. Okay. This is containment database. Let me explain one more time how to do it. Listen carefully. You have to do the practical for this. Enable containment feature at instance level. Right click, properties, advanced, go to containment, enable content. This select as a true. Click OK. After this, Enable the containment feature at database level. Right click on the database, go to properties, okay, go to the options. By default, it is set to none. Set it to the partial, click OK. After that, create the user inside the database with password. Security, user set, right click, new user. You can type here contain one. Username is, you can type any username, but if you type contain one, something like that, you can easily identify later these are the content users. Okay, create the user with password. So if you want to connect to that particular database, only that particular database, how to connect it? Connect database engine equals our authentication. Select that contain one, right? Username, type the password. Do not click connect, go to the options. Here, select that particular database name, write that particular database name. Mine is AdventureWorks 2017. Do not browse, okay? Just type the database name. Connect it. Login failed. Why login failed? What is contained? Contained, right? Not contained. What is the username? Here, expand this, cancel it. Let me check the username. Username is contain one. Contain one. Okay. It is AdventureWorks 2017, right? CONTAIN 1. Password. Okay, options. AdventureWorks 2017. Okay, connect. Right. Now we connected. I'm able to see only that particular database. Okay. Anyone have any doubts in this? Someone pinged me in the chat, right? I think so. Oh, it's long back. Anyone have any doubts? You can do the practical for contained database. Okay. It's almost 1:10, right? Take 10 minutes of time till 1:20. To 1:20, you can finish your practical. If you have any doubts, let me know. Okay. Now your time starts. Anyone have any doubts? Okay, let me check your screens. Prasad, can you share your screen? Prasad. Am I audible?
Sir, yes, sir, you are audible, but I am logging with the mobile, sir, because I am in village, sir.
So every day you are logging with mobile. Are you doing the
No, sir,
practicals?
no, sir.
Uh,
No, sir, no.
I asked you to send the screenshots, right? In last class, I think. You didn't send that screenshot to me. Adventure Works restores databases screenshots. Did you restore Adventure Work databases?
No, sir.
Right? Why? Why you didn't restore?
I am in village, sir. Here the network issues, Wi-Fi is not available, sir.
I told you almost 4 days back, right? It was in last
Yes,
class.
sir, I came
Last time.
here on Saturday only, sir.
When you will complete?
Sir, tomorrow I will come back to Hyderabad, sir.
So once you're done, you can send me the screenshots.
Okay, sir.
Manohar B. Whose side is this? Veena, is that you? Whose side is this? Manohar B. So if you do not respond, I'll remove you from meeting. Mahesh. Mahesh, are you there? Mahesh Bokya. Share
Another
your
from
screen.
bite. Hello?
Hmm.
Mobile నుంచి లాగిన్ బయట
Why?
బయట ఫీల్డ్ కోర్సులో పని ఉంటే వచ్చి
Hmm. So when you will finish this practical then?
టుమారో
Hmm?
టుమారో కంప్లీట్ చేస్తాను.
Next, Ramya.
Yes, sir.
Share your screen. Have you completed the practical?
Yes, sir.
Share your screen. Show me.
Sir, it is visible.
Yes, it is loading.
Sir,
Show me that content database where you connected.
2017.
Show me that. Open that screen. Okay, good. Next, Naveen, share your screen.
Yes, sir.
Show me that Adventure Works content
Yes.
database. Okay, fine. Do the practicals for the Arfan users as well at home. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Next topic is let me share my screen. So if you want to disable this, see, you can enable the contain feature by using the sp_configure option as well. Okay. I'm given the command also. You can enable the containment feature by using this alter database command. Orphan users, we already discussed, right? How to find the orphan users, how to resolve orphan users, how to create new login. Within these two commands, update _1, auto discovery, useful commands. select, yeah, if you want to see the logins information, Windows login or group, something like that, you can use this. Okay, you can use this automated query. Just only give the SQL logins and Windows logins information. Okay, it's not giving any server level roles and certificates information because we do not select time. We only selected U means Windows login, S means SQL login, G means group. And we selected only specific columns here. But by using which command we filter this, sys.server underscore principals. So in this, these two are the important commands. Sys.server underscore principals, database underscore principals. Okay? And another thing, when you create one login, you're mapping it, right? You're mapping it to the database. So if you want to access the database, you should map this login to the database, right? If you want to access the database, you should map this login to the database. Then only we can access the database. Let me show you. For example, dummy one. Yeah, here dummy one, right? When you expand this, when you expand the system databases, I can able to access master. I can not able to access model. Okay, did I map it this dummy one to master? MSDB accessible, TempDB accessible, model is not accessible. Did I map it this dummy one to system databases? No. But how we are accessing that? You can verify that. Right click, properties, user mapping. Did I map it this dummy one to any of the system databases? No, I didn't. But still, this dummy one login able to access this databases. Why? Because if you go to security, master security, security users, here you have some system logins, right? Some system logins. Okay, the system logins. Hello. Oh. Brother. 2:32 brother in class lo. 2:32. Okay, so this is DBO. This is system users. Okay, this is also system user, system user, system user. In this, guest is the enable. So even though if you are not mapping any login to system databases, You are accessing the system databases through guest user. Why? Because guest is enabled. If you see in model database, it is not enabled in model. Okay, so that's the reason you're not able to access model database without mapping. But you know that, right? Whenever you create any database, it adapts the properties from the model database, right? If the guest is disabled in model, it will be disabled in user databases as well. That's the reason. Without mapping the database, you can't access any other databases, model databases, and other user databases. If you map that login to the user database, then only you can access it. Why? For system database also, except model, we can't access, except the model, we can access other system databases. Without mapping, how we are accessing the databases? Through guest user. Guest is a system user, okay? Is it clear? In model database, guest is in disabled state, so that's the reason you can't access the model. So whenever you create the user-defined databases, in user-defined database also the guest user is in disabled state, so you can't access the user databases without mapping. Next one. Here, when I provide the sysadmin rights for this example, SQL, you right-click properties. Did we map this database to any other databases? No, right? This database by default it has the SC rights because when we install the SQL, it created that. But let's say, for example, let me create one database, new login, sysadmin, okay, sysadmin. I'm creating one line, SQL Server Authentication. Okay, server loads, sysadmin. Okay, sysadmin is already exists. Okay, let me give the different time. Let me give the login name is test. For this test login, I provide the full rights, right? SC rights. But I didn't map this to any of the databases. Still, I can access the databases. See, log into test. Right? See, I'm able to access it. But what is the fundamental? If you have the login, if you map this login to the database, it creates the user inside the database. This login is accessing the database through this user. But in case of sysadmin rights, we are not mapping to any database. Then how we are accessing the databases? Because through DBO, through which user we are accessing that? DBO. If you go to any database, you can see DBO. How we are accessing DBO? Through DBO user. It is enabled, right? It is available in every database. So through DBO user, if you see the in model also, right? The sysadmin SCA login accessing the databases through DBO. DBO is enabled in all users. Okay. Anyone have any doubts? We are done with security concept. Done. What are the interview questions you are going to get in this topic? How many types of authentications we have in SQL? Answer is 2 types of authentication, mixed mode authentication and Windows authentication. Mixed mode is SQL Server and Windows, combination of SQL Server and Windows authentication. At the time of installation, we can choose it, or we can change it from the SQL Server instance properties from security tab. Okay? But this change required SQL service restart. Next one, what are the server level rules available? BD square PS power 4, bulk admin, DB creator, disk admin, process admin, security admin, server admin, sysadmin, setup admin. What are the database level rules available? DB data reader, DB data writer, DB deny data reader, deny data writer, DDL admin, DB owner, security admin, backup operator. Next. What is the difference between the login and user? Login is instance level concept, user is database level concept. One login can have multiple users, right? But one user can only have one login. The login and user are connected with SID. What is orphan user? How to find the orphan users? How to fix orphan users? I explained it is already, right? And what is contained database? How to provide the permission on schema level? Or which permission we require to see the stopers? View definition. Table level permissions, column level permissions as well. Okay. These are the important interview questions from security. Anyone have any doubts? What are the issues you're going to get in security? What type of requirements you'll get in real time? In real time, they'll ask you to provide access on particular database or instance of the SQL. Mostly you get access for the read only or read write, okay? Or update permission, something like that. Only database level access. In very rare cases, you get access for, you'll get the request for access at server level. Whatever you get in real time, if it is a, see, in real time, we have the different types of servers. Production, development, test. Okay? If it is development and test, approvals is not required. If it is a production environment, if someone is sending email, if someone is asking to provide the access, we can't do it directly. We cannot provide the access directly. So we'll tell that user to get the approvals. Okay? That user will get the approval from the respective database owner or application owner. Then we can proceed further. Okay. Anyone have any doubts? English Ramatanamana? So anyone have any doubts in security topic? Next topic is backups. Okay. Why we take the backup? What's the purpose? Let me open the backup document. Before that, anyone have any doubts in security concept? Anything? Security or databases? I'll share this document. Okay? After this class, I'll share it. SQL Server backups. Introduction. This topic introduced that SQL Server backup. This topic introduced that SQL Server backup component. Backing up your SQL Server database is essential for protecting the data. A copy of SQL Server data that can be used to restore and recover the data after the failure. Let's say we have our data center. Okay, in the data center, you have the power failure. Due to that power failure, server is crashed. Okay. So how to recover that? If you have the backups, we can install the SQL again, we can restore the databases, right? Let's say if someone deleted some important data by mistakenly, someone deleted some important data right away, right now. Okay? How we can recover that data? By using backups. Okay. So if the database, generally we take the backup in production, we restore backups. By using that backup, we create database, or we restore the databases in the development and test service. For that purpose also require the backups. If there is any failure, like for natural disasters, cyclones, earthquakes, etc. also, because of that, if your server is crashed, if your data center is vanished, then we require backups to build the servers again. Hardware software failures like database crash, RAM and CPU failure. Internal misuses, wantedly, not want, it is a someone written wanted. I mistakenly delete dumb data, not dumb, some data, right? One of my old students written this document, so many spelling mistakes. Wantedly. Okay, next. Types of backups. What type of backups we have? So we have the different types of backups in SQL Server. Full backup, differential backup, okay, log backup, full backup, differential backup, log backup. So how to take the backup of a database? What do you mean by the backup? We know that, right? Every database has some data types and log types, right? So if you want to take the backup of this database, how to take the backup? Why we take the backup? For safety purpose. How to take it? Right click, tasks, backup. How to take the backups? Right click, tasks, backup. What type of backup you want to take? Is it full backup, differential backup, or log backup? Full, differential, or log. Okay, mainly we can take three types of backups: full, differential. There is another thing, log. Here you can see the recovery model. This is simple, right? We have mainly three types of recovery. Full, okay, full recovery model, bulk log recovery model, simple recovery model. In full and bulk log recovery model, transaction log backup is possible. Transaction log, we can also call it as log or log backup. See, for example, how to change the recovery model of the database. Right click, properties, options. How many recovery models we have? 3. Full, bulk log, simple. If the database is in simple recovery model, we can't take the log backups. If it is in full and bulk log recovery model, we can take the log backups. Take full recovery. Change it to full recovery. Okay. Now see the backup of this. Tasks, backup. You can take the backup at full, differential, transaction log. This transaction log also called as the log backup or called as log backup. Full, differential, transaction log. Okay. What do you mean by this full backup? This is my database. So in this database, I have the data. When you take the full backup, whatever the data you have in the database, since database creation occurs, whatever the data you have in the database, since database creation occurs, you get all the data. You get all the data. Okay. And let's say if I am taking the full backup every week, how I'm taking the full backup every week. So I took the full backup last Sunday. Okay. I took the full backup last Sunday. Now, so whatever the data I have in the database, it is covered up to Sunday. Okay. It is covered up to Sunday. Let's say due to some reasons, my database is crashed now. So I can restore the database by using that full backup. But when I took that full backup Sunday, right? So my database restored up to Sunday. Whatever the data we have till Sunday, we get that data. But what about remaining data? What about the data, remaining data from Sunday to today this time? So we have the data loss of that, right? So how we can recover the data? So to avoid that, we take the differential backup. So what is differential backup terms? So here, if you take the full backup, you get the complete data from the database. Okay? Differential backup means if you perform any changes on the database after the full backup, if you perform any changes, on the database after full backup, so that are covered in the differential backup. Usually in real time, we take the differential backup every day. So we take the full backup on Sunday 10 p.m. We take the differential backup on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Again, we take the Sunday full backup. This is generally we take the backup settings. So what do you mean by differential backup? Whatever the changes occurred on the database after the full backup, that changes the data covered in the differential backup. Anyone have any doubts? Full backup is every Sunday, right? So, differential is every day. Okay. So for example, if I take the differential backup, on Monday, then so what are the changes covered in the differential backup? So in the differential backup, what the changes covered from Sunday to Monday? Okay. If I take the differential backup on Tuesday, okay, it contains the changes from Sunday to Tuesday. So if you lost the Monday differential backup also, no worries, because we have the Tuesday differential backup. In that we have all the data since last full backup. Okay. Okay. Let's say my database is crashed on Wednesday morning 10 a.m. So if I want to restore the database up to that time, first we restore the last Sunday full backup, right? It is 10 p.m. But after that, we have the data loss from Sunday 10 p.m. to Tuesday 10 a.m. But we Wednesday 10 a.m. right? But we are taking the differential backup every day 9 p.m. So on the top of that full backup, you can restore Tuesday night 9 p.m. differential backup. So we get the data till Tuesday 9 p.m. Okay, Tuesday 9 p.m. But from Tuesday 9 p.m. to Wednesday 10 a.m., I have the data loss almost 13 hours, 11 hours data loss, right? So for that, we take the log backup. We take the log backup every 1 hour or so. It only covers the data in that particular time interval. See, when you take the full backup, it captures the complete data from the database since database creation onwards. When you take the differential backup, whatever the changes occurred on the database, that changes covered in the differential backup. Okay. If you only modified 5 extents, then only it captures that 5 extents information. That we call it as a differential. But what is log? Log backup. This full line differential backup we get from the data file in log file. This log backup we only get from the log file. Okay. This run every 1 hour, every 1 hour, or every 30 minutes, or every 15 minutes. Depends on the organization. Depends on the database criticality. They schedule this. Okay. For example, if you have the log backup every 1 hour, first we restore Sunday 10 p.m. differential backup. Sunday 10 p.m. full backup. Tuesday 9 p.m. differential backup. After that, we have log backup every 1 hour, right? 10 p.m., 11 p.m., 12 a.m., 1 a.m., 2 a.m. Till Sunday 10 a.m. we restore this log backup. In that way, we can recover the databases by using this backups. Anyone have any doubts? Okay. First, let me tell you the full backup command. Let me explain. See, the full backup and differential. Okay, this differential backup based on the full backup only. It is coming from differential backup. So if you don't have the full backup, you can't take differential and log backup. Okay. Yeah. So full backup is the base backup for the differential and log. Let me try to take the differential. Okay. I'm getting error. Cannot use the backup file because it is originally formatted restore source. Let's see that. Let me take the backup. How to take the backup? Right click, tasks, backup. What type of backup you are taking? Full backup, right? I'm taking full. Remove this. For where I'm taking the backup? To disk. I'm taking the backup to disk. Add process. Okay. In which location you want to take the backup? I want to take the backup in August 22 location. Okay. August 22 location. What is my backup file name? Always follow the instructions. Database name, AdventureWorks 2016 underscore full backup. What type of backup it is? Full backup, full underscore timestamp 2022 08. The date is 23. Okay, what is the time now? 13:59. 13:59.bak. Okay, this is a command. So if you want to see the script for it, script. What is the command for full backup? Database name to disk is equal location, right? To disk is equal location. In that location, this is a location D August 22 folder. This is my backup file name, AdventureWorks 2016 underscore full means full backup. This is the timestamp 2022 0823 13:59. Okay, with format. Okay, this is the default options. No need to worry about this. Okay, I'll explain that. If you write stats is equal to 1, it shows the backup percentage for every 1%. Execute it. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's showing that, right? If you mention 5, it shows every 5%, 5% processed, 10% processed, like that. Okay. You can go and verify here. Where is August 22? Yeah, here you can see the backup file. What is the backup? It is backup file. I'm taking the backup without compression. Okay. Let me take the backup with compression option. Okay. How to write that compression? Okay. You can write compression. While taking the backup, you can also choose this option, compression option. You go to the backup options. Here you have to use the default server setting, a compress backup. You can use this option in GUI. Okay. Here, use the default server setting means we also have the option backup compression at instance level. Right click, properties, database settings. Here, compress backup. So by default, it is taking the compress backup. Let me uncheck this. So previously, what we took the compressor backup by default only. Let me uncheck this and let me take the backup now. What is the timestamp now? It is 14:01. Previously, we took the compressor backup. This time, let me write 5%. I'm not using compression option, okay? Because previously, we already took the compression option. 5%, 10%. You can see this is a latest backup, right? Date modified, date modified. Backup is completed, right? So without compression, how much we are getting? Almost 21 MB, not 21 MB. Properties. How much you are getting? 207 MB. 207 MB. If you take it with compression, how much you are getting? 48 MB, almost around 47. So there is a lot of difference, right? So always take the compressed backup. If you want to take the compressed backup, just you can write here compression. Okay, comma, timestamp is it is 02, right? 1402. Change this. You can write as a timestamp 2022 08 23. Okay, 23. Why we are typing double one here? Only one, right? See, with compression we are getting this. If you want to enable the compression for all the databases by default, right click, properties, Database settings. Click OK. So what is the command to write if I want to take the different database backup? Okay, another database. Backup database. Write the database name. I want to take the backup of 2019. 2019 in the same location. So adventure works, right? 2019 underscore full underscore. Here you have to write the timestamp. Okay, how to write that? 2022 08 23. What is the time now? 14:03. Why you are writing? You can write anything here. You can write XYZ also. Right? If someone see that backup file, they can understand that this is this particular database backup, and it is a full backup. This backup occurred. This backup performed on this particular date, so they can understand that. Okay. What is the extension of backup file? .bat. Extension of backup file is .bat. Hello. Hello. Extension of backup file is .bat. For full backup and differential backup, extension is .bat. You can write anything. Okay, instead of .bat, you can write .xyz, .abc, but this is a standard notation. If you want to take the differential backup, okay, we write comma differential. Hello. Okay, so if you want to take the differential backup, write differential here. Just the same command is same as a full backup. We are adding only one thing, that is a differential is extra. Okay, differential is extra. If we execute it, differential backup is okay. But if you want to take the differential backup for another database, AdventureWorks 2014. Okay. This brackets, if you mention or do not mention, that doesn't matter. Okay, this is not required brackets. Okay, if you want, you can mention, no issues. This timestamp is 1406, right? Always follow the timestamp, and this is for 2014 database. Okay, if I want to perform the backup for testify database, test. Look at this. Why it is working? I'm taking the differential or full backup. When I take the full backup for this databases, okay, I already have some jobs here. My intention is I want to tell something like without full backup, you can't do the differential backup. Let me create one new database. Let me write this database name is ABC. It is empty database, right? If you want to take the backup of this ABC database, what I'm taking here, differential, right? Type here ABC. You can follow the timestamp, just I'm giving ABC only here, okay? Can't perform a differential backup for database ABC because the current database backup does not exist. If you want to take the full backup, you should perform the, if you want to take the differential backup, that database backup at least one time full backup, okay? Because full backup is the base backup for the differential. What is the full backup command? If you remove this, simple. This is a, if you don't want the starts also, this is a full backup command. Simple command. Backup database name to disk is equal path. This is a full backup command. This is differential backup command. Backup database name to disk is equal path with differential. If you write with differential, it is a differential backup command. Okay. If you want log backup, it is the same as the full backup command. Okay, same as the full backup. Backup, instead of database, you are writing log. Backup log, database name to disk is called path. For log backup, extension is TRL. Okay. For full backup also abc.bak, but you can write here abc_diff. Okay, because these are same backup files, right? abc.bak, abc.bak. So you can just differentiate. You can write abc_diff. See, let me try to take the log backup. Backup log cannot be performed because there is no current database backup. Okay. Let me take the full backup. Here it is not showing the percentage. Why? Because we didn't mention stats. Okay. If you want to take the differential backup, run this differential. Differential is completed. Now take the log backup. Log backup to perform, because we perform the one-time full backup, right? So full backup is the base for a differential, and these are the commands. Very simple commands. Backup database name to disk is equal that location and backup file name. It is a full backup. Backup database name to disk. Same as the full backup command. In the end, you can write with the differential. Then it becomes differential backup. Okay. Same as the log backup command. Backup log database name to disk is equal. Then at the end, just instead of database, you can write log. Okay. Anyone have any doubts? We'll talk about the backups more in tomorrow's class. Okay. What's the main difference? What are other types of backups? How it is performed internally? How we can identify that? So we'll talk more about in tomorrow's class. Anyone have any doubts in this? You can try to do the practicals. If you want to do it by GUI, you can use this tasks backup. From here you can do this full differential. If it is in simple, you do not get the log, transaction log backup. Okay, log backup. So if it is in full or bulk or recovery model, then only you will get it. You will get the transaction log backup. Anyone have any doubts? If you have any doubts, you can stay in call. Otherwise, you can drop out. I'll share the backup documents command.
Sir. Hello, sir. Hello.
Yes, tell me.
సార్ ఇంకా మెయిల్ ఏం రాలేదు సార్. మీకు మెయిల్ వచ్చినాక మీకు వాట్సాప్ పింగ్ చేస్తాను. ఓకే ఓకే సార్, థ్యాంక్ యూ.